Fire Station 1 here has always been the premier fire station in Jacksonville. But recently, a firefighter who was working a fill-in overtime shift here said he was told he was going to have to cut his braids because it was against policy. He decided to go home. The young firefighter in question didn't want to be identified, but he's making a name for himself when it comes to the fire department and its policies about hair, its length, safety, grooming, and the way firefighters appear in public. In a letter sent to the fire union and JFRD officials, the firefighter who was to work an overtime shift at Fire Station 1 said the chief there told him he had to go home and lose overtime pay or go to the bathroom to cut his hair, which was too thick. He chose to go home. And in doing so, he says he lost out on overtime pay. A spokesman for the Brotherhood of Firefighters, District Fire Chief Terrence Jones, believes that was wrong.
And that's an unlawful order, because the only way we can send a firefighter home is if we suspect him or she or her being under influence of some type of drug.
Jones says it's not up to one person to decide. He says another fire official has to agree. Jones also says there was nothing wrong with the firefighter's hair and that it met regulation.
His hair was up and it was legal. We have females on the job whose hair is much longer than him.
In fact, that firefighter has been working and still works at another station where we're told the length of his hair never came into question. We wanted to speak to the fire chief about this. Normally, Chief Powers talks with us, but today only issued this statement with the understanding we would air all of it. As a policy, JFRD does not comment on specific personnel matters. That being said, JFRD chief officers are required by policy to maintain order and discipline within the companies in their districts and shall take necessary action to correct any deficiencies found. I fully support JFRD chief officers in their efforts to ensure personnel are properly groomed and present a professional public image, as required by a long-standing department policy. In fact, during probation, all new firefighters are provided a copy of all JFRD policies and are tested on them to ensure a complete understanding. We received a copy of that policy, which was updated last August. It says hairstyles that interfere with personal protective equipment are not allowed. Hair should be neat, clean, and styled to present a well-groomed appearance. Hair should not exceed 2 inches in thickness. Hair on the side of the head shall not extend below the bottom of the ear, and on the back of the head shall not extend to the top of the collar. For women, many of the same requirements apply, but they can restrain it or wear it up to comply. And the head of the fire union issued this statement. The firefighter is utilizing his rights under our collective bargaining agreement, and his union will be guiding him through the grievance process. This isn't the first time that grooming has become an issue for black firefighters. In fact, there's still a federal lawsuit pending in court about beards and black firefighters. Also, we're hearing there is now some concern over tattoos. Firefighters are not allowed to have tattoos on their wrists or hands, even on their neck and on their face. It's the same policy for JSO. Now, I checked for other city employees. They are allowed to have tattoos. So far, no complaint on that issue has been filed. We just heard that it's becoming a concern. Jim Piggott, Channel 4, the local station.